Malia Obama threw some major shade this past weekend when she was at the Made in America Music Festival. She was seen wearing a shirt that says "Smoking Kills," while she was also photographed at a house party where there appeared to be a bong present. Now, this comes after she was heavily scrutinized by the media for apparently smoking a joint at Lollapalooza.
And then Obama gave her a very public talk. Do you remember?
No.
Yeah, he pulled her to the side, and everyone was like, "Obama's giving Malia the talk."
Did he
Barack Obama.
really?
Yeah.
At like a press conference or something?
No. It wasn't like, "Hey, I'm going to give you a talk right now in this press conference."
That's what he made it sound. He was like, "And to show you that I'm sorry, here's Malia." Like,
No. Look, it goes against his platform if he's going to, really scrutinize his own daughter for smoking weed, especially when we know Obama himself has smoked weed in the past. And Malia is an adult at this point.
Right, but explain to me, when did he have this public talk with her? I didn't know about that.
It was like when the first
after Lollapalooza.
After Lollapalooza, the weed thing came out. Like there were photos of like Obama and Malia walking side by side on the lawn, and he was like, "This is like they're doing the talk right now. They're having this."
Oh, so it wasn't confirmed.
No, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was like kind of made like a cute public thing.
Wow, I didn't know about that, but
Yeah.
hopefully we can find a photo to throw up for you guys.
Yeah.
But so this raised a couple questions for me that I want to talk to you about. Basically, how has our expectation of the first family changed in the age of social media? And what do you think about Malia's response to all the really unfair hate or whatever, just talk that she got thrown her way after she was caught with a joint? She's an 18-year-old. She's heading to college. Well, she's taking a gap year and then she's going to college. But, do you think that she responded in the right way? And what do you think about our expectations of the first family in the age of social media?
It's just, I'm surprised that Malia, being like a normal 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, wasn't caught doing other stuff. You know what I mean? Like that normal teenagers do.
You're surprised this was the first?
Yeah, I'm surprised that now that she's 18, I think that I assume that the White House press team had a pretty strong hold over all of that stuff up until Malia was 18, and they were probably like, okay, now she can do her own thing. We'll still probably keep an eye on everything that's out there in the news about her, but we'll let out this sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like,
so you
she's
think
a teenager. Like she's gonna do teenager things. She's gonna smoke weed. She's gonna have sex. Like these are normal things.
So you think that the White House press team knew about this photo and is not taking it down because they're like, whatever, she's 18.
Oh,
this isn't a big deal. Okay.
For sure. And probably not the first instance that Malia Obama smoked weed. I have no problems with it. Obviously, Barack Obama has no problems with it. It's like, it's if Malia Obama was like, hey, I actually am experimenting with girls now. Like, you know what I mean? That wouldn't be that big of a deal. We live in the 21st century.
Be a great day
Always
for America.
pushing her lesbian agenda, you guys. Do you see this?
You were the one
Rush
that brought it up.
Limbaugh was right.
Okay, so then I have another question for you about should we expect the first family to set any sort of an example for the rest of the country? Do you think that's unfair that we as a nation, because it seems like the way that but listen to me, let me finish the question.
Yes for Michelle Obama, no for the children.
Okay, but it seems like the country really came down on Malia, right? And a lot of people were saying that we look to this first family as a beacon of what the perfect American life should be. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that we should hold a kid up to these, high standards, but you think we should hold Michelle to those high standards, but not the kids? Or what's your thought on that?
Michelle Obama is first lady. It's like that is almost like an actual position. Do you know what I mean? There's responsibilities that comes along with being the first lady, and you're an adult. And so for that, in that instance, I understand, not scrutiny, but I do understand why people would look up to her as a role model. Whereas in the case of the children, they're just children. They're growing up. This is a part of growing up. You fuck up a lot.
Right.
And you learn from your mistakes.
So do you think that her being caught with weed and then also her wearing a shirt that says smoking kills, is that a fuck up? Are you saying that's a fuck up?
No, I don't think that's a fuck up at all. I think that it could be perceived as that. I love that she has a smoking kills shirt. She's around a bong. She's not even taking a bong rip. Like, come on. You know what I mean? We're trying to make such a big deal out of this because, marijuana laws are something that's heavily debated. And I truly believe that in the next 10 years or so, weed will be legalized.
And we'll call
at
it
the federal.
lead.
And
Legal
we'll call
weed.
it legal weed lead. I just trademarked that, so don't fucking steal it. Okay. But you know what I mean. Like, it's going to be legalized at the federal level.
I agree
and
with
eventually we'll stop freaking out over this. It's like if we saw Malia Obama drinking a beer, would people be like, oh my God?
Well, that's a really good question.
If she was 21, and she was drinking a beer, would you freak out?
No, I wouldn't. But if she was caught drinking a beer in these photos at this house party, and she's 18 years old, she's going to, she's heading to college.
I bet you there were photos of her drinking a beer at this house party too, but the press team probably was like, "Oh, you can't let that."
So you think that would be a big deal? That would be worse than just being in the same room as weed, or allegedly smoking.
It's not worse than smoking a joint itself. I'm sure people. It just depends on what your take is on which one's worse as far as a drug. Like, do you think alcohol is more dangerous, or do you think weed is more dangerous?
I think that's a good point that you bring up, because I wonder if she were seen with a beer in her hand.
But most people would be like, it's just, little girl being a little girl, like experimenting, being a teenager, that's normal.
Drinking a beer is not, as an 18-year-old, that's not the worst thing that an 18-year-old can do. But I would also argue that smoking a joint is not the worst thing that an 18-year-old can do. What interested me about this story and the sort of traction that it got in the media was, again, the discussion that we're having about what sort of expectations are we allowed to have on the first family? Are we allowed to be disappointed in Malia? Because a lot of people felt let down because a lot of people looked at this family as this very wholesome, all-American family, and just to see Malia around weed is like, oh no, then everything we know is a lie.
Here's the thing, Grace. Here's the thing. In wholesome American families, the kids are having sex and they're smoking weed and they're drinking alcohol.
Well, that's exactly what my thinking is about this. The wholesome all-American family is a myth. It's not.
But that's not even a myth. I think that it's just, this is a part of that. This is a part of growing up, is when you experiment with these sort of things and you figure out what you like about them and you figure out what you don't like about them.
Yeah.
Sheltering, like, I'm glad that Malia Obama has the freedom to a degree.
And it seems like she has good friends around her.
To be able to try things, except for this fucking asshole who took a picture
Right, well, whoever
of her.
took the photo is a shitty friend, but it seems like by and large she has a good support system around there. And I think that the way that this family has been raised, or has grown in the public eye and the public consciousness, as just so normal and like experimenting, and it's just all a part of life and just a part of the different ways that kids are growing up these days, that probably freaks out some American families that are choosing to be blind to the fact that this is something that kids do. Do you know what I mean? They're like, no, like they were looking at the Obama families like they're so perfect. They would never, mess around with weed or drink or party or anything like that.
Or they're looking at the Obama family and going, they're Muslim Kenyan, sleeper cells that are invading America.
With their weed.
Yeah, with their weed and their lesbianism.
Oh my gosh, I don't think that's true. But guys, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. What did you think about Malia Obama partying like a healthy 18-year-old? What do you think about the asshole that took this photo and shared it online? Douchebag. We won't have it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This is Hassan Piker. I'm Grace Baldridge. We will see you next time on Pop Trigger.